So as a 45 plus year D&D player, I've spent more than my share of time building model game terrain for the tabletop. They sell these molds. You make plaster tiles. You can build little miniature dungeons to put your painted miniatures in or play your games on. I've got a bunch of these tiles left over from my terrain building days, so I put together this little Dungeons and Dragons themed plaque pattern. I took some of the bricks for the side and sanded draft on them. I also sanded draft on the inside on the portion of them that sticks up above the tiles. The tiles are all sitting on a piece of MDF clipboard wood. We'll see how this casts out. Sometimes I like to reuse these things to make more than one different plaque. So I'm going to cast a copy in aluminum that I can glue my pattern letters onto and then remove them without destroying the background. I just want to kind of lock the pattern in place here. The tips of the fingers. More than enough there. Drill a little hole in here, but this is pointy enough to hopefully bite in enough to do the thing. See a little bit of movement. There we go. Seems like the parting line is pretty good. So far, so good. Hopefully this flask still goes together. All right. Started out about there. Knife gate. Hopefully that'll work. All right. I'm gonna try and do a double roll to get this out of here without having to pull it. So if I can just loosen it and have it drop onto the cope, I can just lift it off. Just have to flip the mold over an extra time or two. So that's what I'm gonna try and do. All right. Shit, that's not really closed. It is now. All right. I thought you would drop that pattern. Fingers crossed. Yes. Excellent. So there's definitely some stuff that's going to break off. I am going to, I guess, do my best to blow out the worst of it. But it looks like a pretty clean pull. So I'm pretty happy. It's supposed to be a dungeon, so if there's a little bit of crumbly stuff, that's going to be down in the cracks between the square tiles anyway. You know, dungeons are not known for being well swept. Now, you may have noticed that I did allow the sprue of this one to suck air for a moment. I'm just going to have to hope it didn't misrun. I've seen castings fail for a worse, for you know, a smaller slip up than that. These other ones are just some extra sprue covers and one mold that it's just a kind of experimental idea I'm working on. I might show you something about it later. How did I not know about this glazing and spot putty before? How many years have I been mixing up and wasting 90% of the small amounts of Bondo I've been mixing up? This is great. Second session of putty and sanding on the back. There's just a few more spots I gotta build up, and then it'll be real flat on the back. You know, it doesn't necessarily need to be, but I want it to be. Well, I only put on a really thin layer where it had a low spot. Let's see if I can do this one-handed, and hopefully this will be the last it needs. It's so close. There's still a couple of low spots. Ugh! I'm getting tired of having to do this. Oh, there might be a couple low spots there too. Again, very close though. Right there, a couple of little tiny ones. This doesn't really matter really. I'm still gonna give it a little more and get it just right. I'm gonna do one more anyway. If it's still not flat, it's flat enough. Got the back flattened out, got the letters glued on. There's some slate undercuts underneath the tops of the U and this end because the letters are a bit warped, so gonna have to get out my fillet irons and do some tiny wax things. I'm kind of annoyed because I really want to just cast this in brass, but anyway. Looks good. My waxes mostly did the trick. There might be a couple of grains, but all in all, I think it's a good mold. Bit of a run out there. Well, let's see what happened. All right, there we go. Obviously, there's going to be some flash after I run out like that. So we'll see what we got. Pretty sure it's all going to be there because the whole thing was in the drag. Not an ideal situation, but I don't want to scratch it up with a wire brush, and I don't want to melt my plastic brush. Well, looks like it worked out pretty nice. going to be some stuff to cut off, but it's all there. I knew using the little flask was a risk. It was so close to the edge of the... Well, that's not actually where it ran out. I think what it was I had the weight at the back end of the mold, and the front end was able to kind of just seesaw up too easily. Well, I got it mostly cleaned up. Well, pretty much cleaned up. I might sand the home suite a little smoother, because I did grind a couple of little pits off them, so they're not as cast. And I don't want to see grinder marks. I cleaned it off, give it a little bit of a buff, even though it's not really ready for it. I need to get one of those Scotch-Brite wheels or something. But stamped with my pretend business D&D pun name. And yeah, it's looking good. I don't know, do I go liver of sulfur patina and brush back the walls and the letters and the tiles to a lesser extent, leaving the gaps dark? Or do I just go paint? I think I'm going patina. Well, I decided to go with a hot liver of sulfur. I think it looks pretty good. I'll get on my Scotch-Brite pads and shine up the border and the letters, and we'll see how it looks from there. But first I gotta let it cool down. I didn't film it because I needed one hand for my my brush and one hand for my torch. But you've seen me do patinas before in another video. If you want to go back and check that, you can. Well, got the patina done. Got a coat of wax on it. I'm just letting this this cool down and harden. Then I'll take my old t-shirt and buff it up a little bit, remove the excess wax, and get it nice and shiny. I feel like the wax really makes the patina stand out. What do you think? Do you like the look, or is it kind of mottled and ugly looking? I think maybe I'm too close to it, but I think it looks pretty good. Well, other than drilling holes to mount it, I think I gotta call it done. I brought it out here in the sun so you can really see it with the shine on it. I buffed off all the excess wax to give it a nice shine and seal in the patina. And kind of, what did they say? It really pops? I don't know. I don't usually say that, but I think it looks pretty good. I'm happy. There's a little pit on the G there and on the N. I could have ground this stuff off, but these fonts are like curved, so I didn't want to mess with them too much. I figured better to leave these ones as cast. Kind of goes with the look of the whole piece, I guess. Maybe I'm just telling myself that to feel better about it. Overall, though, I think the look works. But tell me what you think. I don't get enough comments on these. Probably because I don't ask you to. I don't ask you guys to do anything, but I do appreciate comments.